Hello ladies and gentlemen, today we're back in War Thunder, and today it's time to once again talk about ground forces, not in a very positive light though. Basically, I've taken the decision upon myself to boycott ground forces in War Thunder. The reason is, it does come with a caveat, but we'll go through the reasons why. And a lot of them come with because it's a free-to-play game and thinking of the players and all this stuff and where the game is going. So let's get into some of the reasons just to start us off. So first of all, we have some issues I have with some of the premium vehicles. Now, in the latest updates, the latest large updates, we got given the Tiger 2H SLA, or the Panzerkampfwagen 6 aus BH mit Simmering SLA 16. Now this is the new Tiger 2H. It has an improved engine, it has slightly better armor, but it's at the same BR as the Tiger 2H that we have in the tree. In the tree that is access to everyone, where the Tiger 2H itself you can basically get in a bundle, which is really expensive for what it is. Now, coupled with this, there is an example from way back which I used, which isn't an issue now, which is the M26E1, which used to be at the same BR as the Pershing, but it was just better than it, simple as, in basically every single way apart from its armor. It had a better gun, it was faster, but they did up its BR, so they sorted that out. But another example that does exist is the T3485E. It is exactly the same as the T3485 we have in the tree, apart from it has modifications which make it better, such as the added armor and stuff. I mean, it's very negligible, the armor, but it does do something. It is still there, it is still an advantage that you get over the one in the tree. It does count as armor, it counts as spaced armor, and it counts as whole pieces, even though it's just wiring. It's very odd how they've decided to do that. And people may say that little things like that is negligible. The tracks that you can put on the SLA, it's negligible. But it's still an improvement over the one that you get in the tree. And with the SLA, it's quite a large improvement with the engine. Now, what Tansy thinks with the SLA, which I'm kind of coming around to, is that the Tiger 2H was changed in the last update. It was made a lot slower, and the SLA was basically given what the Tiger 2H had before when it comes to engine power. So instead of making the SLA faster, they just made the Tiger 2H slower, and it really seems like that. It is terrible accelerating right now. But that's not the point. The point is they are at the same BR, so therefore they should be at the same strength. Being in the same nation, going across nations and trying to compare them to other vehicles is quite hard to do. But when we look at the same nation, we have to compare them to their equals. So this SLA, according to Gaijin, is the exact same as something like a Tiger 2 at 6.7. And since they have the same gun, since they nearly have the same armor, we can directly compare them. You can't really compare something like a Panther 2 to a Tiger 2, because they have different guns, they have different armor, they perform completely differently. But in this example, we can directly compare them. And the SLA is better than the Tiger 2H that you get at Tier 4. So because of that, the inclination and the thought to go towards is that you are buying power, right? Because you are basically using your own money outside of game to buy an in-game item which is better than the item that players can get in the game without spending money, therefore pay to win. This is the same with the T3485E, standing at a 5.3 BR in realistic, and the T3485 at 5.3 BR in realistic. I'm mainly a realistic player. So the thing is, with that caveat, there is a pay-to-win element. Now, I've always seen with War Thunder, it's one of those free-to-play games which doesn't discriminate when it comes from your average player to a player who buys premium, buys tanks, premium stuff. But recently, I've been seeing a shift towards, especially in ground forces, not really in aircraft, a shift towards premium vehicles being better than their core counterparts in the tree. at the same BR. That is the issue. If the SLA was at 7.0, if the T3485E was at 5.7, this wouldn't be an issue. With the M26 Pershing, when it had an issue with the M26E1 with its 90mm, what they did is they reduced the Pershing's BR, making it fair enough. But right now, with the SLA and the T3485E, we are seeing the same issues that the Pershing had with its premium counterpart with the 90mm, which, as I said, has been solved, so, congrats to them. Now, War Thunder, there's a lot of really good stuff going on with War Thunder. The player base is climbing, no matter what people say. All you have to do is actually look at the statistics yourself. There are a lot of players leaving. There are also a lot of players coming in. We can't work out how many players are coming in to how many are leaving, but all I can say is that I'm still here. So all I can do is talk about my own opinion. Enduring confrontation, I think, is a really, really good thing, and I hope it comes to realistic. In Simulator, I've had a lot of fun with it, and will continue to. I still need to have a discussion with Kafeng, and I will do, and it is my fault that that hasn't happened yet. So, I will, in the next week, make sure to set up a time. Busy people and busy lives and all that jazz. So there are really good things going on with War Thunder. But when you have stuff like this, which can be definitely seen as pay to win, it destroys that. It really does, because then you start getting compared to games which are pay to win. And you can only get certain items if you buy them. Something like Path of Exile is brilliant for the idea that the whole pay-to-win thing doesn't really work in Path of Exile. If you know anything about the game and how it works, a lot of the stuff you can pay for is very much cosmetic. The PvE style of Path of Exile means that if you buy power weapons, then you're only benefiting yourself. The PvP side I don't really get involved in, so I don't know a lot about. In War Thunder, it used to be like that, but once you start adding in stuff like this SLA, this T3485E, and at the same BR as their counterparts, you start having issues and you start raising questions. Another thing that has annoyed me in Ground Forces is research gain. Now, research game, as we all know, is awful right now in Ground Forces. It's not great in planes compared to what it used to be, but it is even worse in Ground Forces. You get capped. You must get capped. There is no way you don't get capped. You can get 3 kills to 9 kills and you will get the same RP in realistic for no apparent reason. I don't know why they've decided to do this, and if they haven't done it, I would like to see an explanation on why somebody getting 9 kills is getting the same RP as somebody with 3 kills. Now, I understand if a premium player is getting more RP than a core player, that kind of makes sense because they're paying for that privilege. Researching things doesn't mean it's not pay to win, basically. It's got nothing to do with that. It doesn't influence your in-game self. You can be a premium player and get 0 kills every match, or you could be a core player and get 9 kills. You have more influence on the game. But the issue is if you're a core player and you have 11 kills, let's say you go crazy, 5, 6, 11 kills, and you're getting the same RP as if you only got 2 or 3 kills. Then the incentive of getting all those kills becomes non-existent, which means that capping research, or even just limiting it in Ground Forces, is not a good idea for anything. It really should be the same as planes. In Air Realistic. In Air Realistic Battle, I can get a pretty decent amount of research. Right now I'm not running a premium account, and I can still get a decent amount of research to what I'm trying to do. In Ground Forces, I can't. I really, really can't. And something else, let's just check. So this is at 6.7. At 6.7 we're looking at 220,000 for the T92 and the new Super Pershing. At, let's see, 7.0 we're looking at 270,000. At 8.0 we're looking at 220,000 for the B57. Now you could say I'm just picking examples which kind of suits what I want, because you can get, let's see, is there anything else? 6.7? 6.7, 270,000 for the Polka Stora, 220,000 for the Arado. So generally they're actually kind of similar, so that's not really a point. It seems to depend on the vehicle itself. But anyway, because the research gain is so low and because it is capped, it means that going for those tier 5 vehicles, which it's going to take you years to get, it feels awful. It really does. And the fact that it doesn't matter how well you do in a game, you will get terrible RP no matter what, when all of these vehicles cost so much RP and so many lions. That's another point. Lions gain in tanks in realistic is abysmal at tier 4. At tier 4 in planes, I can go positive very, very easily. There is a few planes which I can't do that in without a premium account. The few examples are stuff like the DO 335, because this is an absolutely abominable plane at tier 4, and it costs 33,000 when fully maxed out. Same with stuff like the Tempest Mark II, I believe. Maybe not. No, the Tempest Mark II is alright. The Griffins were classic for it. 12,000 stock, 14,000 for the Mark 22 stock. Like, they are not as bad as in ground forces. In ground forces, you're looking at crazy numbers, because you are not making as many lines, you are not making as much research, but for some reason in my Carnarvon and my Centurion, I'm looking to pay upwards of 10,000 lions to repair these damn things. And because you lose more vehicles in one match, but don't get basically the same silver lions, you are going to lose lions. If I lose 2 tanks in realistic battles, in ground forces, if compared to 1 plane in air realistic, I'm going to be paying for 2 tanks, which is going to generally be double the cost or even more than a plane, right? That's basically how it works. So that means that the silver lions should be multiplied as well, but they're not. They're not at all. It is all dependent on how many kills you get, and if you win or not. That's an even bigger thing. The multiplier on the multiplier that you get for winning or failing a mission is way, way too large. If you win a mission, or you gain a victory, you may go even. If you lose, even if you do well, you are screwed when it comes to income, when it comes to silver lions. And it's basically a reason why I've been going to tier 1 and tier 2 a lot. Not to grind lions, I have over 20 million of them because I've played this game for so long. I've ground my way through tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 in planes and tanks. I've just gained them over time. But it's still an issue. It really is an issue. Now onto the biggest issue that I've had, and will have for time to come in War Thunder, which is something that has just been released. And if I can just get it up here, just so I have all of the relevant information. Right. So we now have decorators. Decorators can go from just random signs to roundels, skulls, other, such as gas tanks and helmets and life buoys and stuff like that. And then we get these camouflages. Now I've seen on the forum, these used to cost 500 G, right? No way of getting them in game unless you pay for them. Now they're 1,000 to 2,000 depending on which ones you get. Generally the larger ones are 2,000 and the smaller ones are 1,000. I have seen so many people on the forums, on the War Thunder Live stuff, saying it's okay for this. Saying that it's okay for buying camouflages using golden eagles. I am not okay with that, and I'll tell you why. A lot of these people's justifications for these camouflages being worth golden eagles is that they don't really show up on lower quality, on ultra low quality, or you'll just see a bush going around and you don't see any other bushes, so therefore that's a tank and it's moving at the same time. If I'm playing War Thunder, and if I'm processing videos, I will play on medium, just so it doesn't destroy my computer. But if I'm not, which is the majority of the time, I play on max. Because War Thunder is one of the most beautiful games I've played. And I really mean that, when it comes to how much it actually uses of my computer. There are games which look better than War Thunder. But the thing is, they don't use as much they use way more resources than War Thunder does. War Thunder is actually pretty well optimized when it comes to its higher graphics when you compare it to other games, at least on my system. I can only go from my opinion, which is my system. And I love looking at the game. I love taking screenshots. I love even just going on single missions just to see if I can get that perfect picture for a background for a video, or to post onto War Thunder Live. I'm that kind of player. I like looking at the game. I really think it's beautiful. With the new engine, it looks absolutely stunning on movie settings and max settings. So because of that, because I play on those higher settings, I can't see these tanks in Realistic and Simulator. If they are well hidden in bushes, I can't see them. I can't see the barrel sticking out. And it creates an even larger problem that we already have in War Thunder, which is basically whoever gets the first shot off wins, especially at these higher tiers, when you're looking at 6, 7, and 7-0, which is where I'm fighting now, because, you know, they're the highest tanks I have. It means that they are nearly 100% now guaranteed to get the first shot off, and I'm dead. It's as simple as that. There are many maps where you can use these bushes. There are a few maps which you can't, like some of the desert maps. It's very obvious when a bush is coming at you. But overall, there are many places on many maps that tank destroyers and heavy tanks can sit, which I cannot see them. Because all I can see is their barrel, and it's impossible to see that barrel from 600 to 800 to 1,000 meters. And the main issue I have with these camouflages is that you cannot earn them in-game. The thing is, with these camouflages, I would be completely fine with them if they were like skins. I do have an issue with on snow maps, the default skin is not a snow skin, because, you know, that kind of makes sense to me. If somebody has a snow skin and you don't, you're kind of at a disadvantage. But the thing is, at least you have the ability to get that skin. If you do not want to put money into the game, you cannot get these camouflages. And there was a forum moderator who said this. And he was, I'm not directly quoting him, I don't want to label him, because I don't really believe in witch hunting or anything like that. But it was in one of the threads talking about the update, and he said to use golden battle wages. That's a way that you can get G, and therefore you can afford the camouflages. So this is where the caveat comes in. I'm going to put that to the test, right? I'm going to use my battle wages. I haven't actually used any of them since I have unlocked them. I didn't really see the point. Most of them are Silver Lions. Same with boosters. I have 20, 30 boosters. Like, I have 7 30% Lions, one's 1 500, 3 40% research, 2 30% research, and this is the justification they're using to reduce research gain and everything like that. So anyway, let's go on to wages. So his justification is you can earn golden eagles through wages, therefore you will be able to earn these camouflages. And we're going to put that to the test. Over the next week or so, I will be doing this. I have 4 officer golden battle wages, which are achieve victory with having at least 1 player kill destroyed. At stage 1 to 20, 50 golden eagles to 1,000. So I have to win 20 matches in a row to get 1,000 golden eagles. I have 4 of them. I have 3 of these. Battle in which a new stage would not achieve 3. Sorry, that's not it. Oh wait, yeah. I should put a caveat in. So after each stage, you do have 3 battles to make sure that you can get onto the next stage. Right, so the next one is the Rookie Golden Battles Wager. Achieve victory with having at least 1 player vehicle destroyed. This goes up to 500 Golden Eagles. I have 3 of them. And then I have 2 of these, the Commander Golden Battle Wager. Achieve victory with having at least 3 player vehicles destroyed. Up to 25, you can get 1,500 Golden Eagles out of this. So if we do quick math, let's see. I have 2 of these. I can make 3,000 golden eagles. Off 3 of these, I can make 1,500, so that's 4,500. And off 4 of these, I can make 4,000. So we're looking at 8,000 golden eagles. So that will give us 1, 2, 3. That will give us 4 bushes. Right? So the majority. Wait, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8. No, it won't. It'll give us 4 of the large bushes, which means that there is 1 large bush and 2 small bushes that I can't get. So that gives me about half. Now remember, I've never used a golden battle wager. Never. Since they were introduced. And this is the amount of battle wagers I've had. Let's see how many wins I need for these. For all of this to come to a round and for me to play tanks again. And obviously I won't be self-destructing myself. That's ridiculous. So, with these, let's see, 20 wins to get 1,000. So I need, 80 wins to get all of them. With this, 3, I need 30. So that's 110. And with this, I need 25. So that's 50. We're looking at 165 wins over the next week. Can I do it within how it works? Yeah, probably. We'll have to see. Especially the one where you have to kill 3 enemies while going on. But that's still only to get just more than half of these camouflages. What they should have done is how they have done skins. How have they done some of these other ones, which are really nice? To get a 6-piece jerry can, you need to set 20 people on fire. That's nice. With gas mask, 2 pieces, you need to win 10 missions. With steel helmets, 2 pieces, you need to kill 50 players. And same with all of the other ones, just for different nations. Roundels and insignias, that's fine. They don't give you an advantage at the end of it. If you want to put a massive iron cross on the side of your tank, that's completely fine with me. It makes you a bigger fucking target. Same with the signs. I can understand why people can't unlock them through the game. Unless you do the Golden Battles thing, which can be used as a justification for anything, by the way. If somebody puts in a 20,000 GE plane, right? Tier 4 premium, let's use an example. Let's go Panzer Befehlswagen 6P, 6,000 Golden Eagles. With my Golden Wages, I can technically get that. Just think about that. So, if there was a 20,000 Golden Eagle one, the forum moderator can just turn around and say to you, well, you've got golden wager battles. You can unlock it. It may take you a year, but you can do it. And that is the justification now. And that creates quite a slippery slope for me. It starts off with small things. It starts off with decorations and things that we saw before with decals. It then goes on to stuff like camouflages, which we've got now. And then it goes on to flat-out pay-to-win crap, which is the premium tanks that we have, which you can only get in bundles, of course. But soon, they will be in-game. Then you can pay GE for them. They may not be those actual vehicles, but they may be other ones. So as you can see, it's creating a slippery slope where basically anything can be justified because you have these golden battle wages. Even though it may take you years to get these camouflages, because at some random point after a battle or when you log into a game, you may get another golden battle wager. And because of that, you can earn yourself some golden eagles. You can therefore unlock it, and you can keep progressing, and you can keep getting this stuff, and eventually you'll be able to afford a bush, right? That can be used as a justification for anything. If you have 100,000 Golden Eagle pay to win, I don't know, E100 at BR4, right? So it would be absolutely ridiculous. There'll be nothing that could kill it unless it got ridiculously up-tiered, which it never will. If it's at 200,000, you can use the justification that you can still get it because you get these Golden Eagle wages and eventually you'll be able to pay for it. Do you see the issues I have with premium currency in game? Because they get abused. The system before, when we didn't have the SLAR Tiger, when we didn't have the T3485E, when we didn't have pay-to-win camouflages and stuff like that, if you play on higher settings, there was still talks about stuff like the P47 for the Germans. Now, I still need to do tests on that thing. I don't think it outperforms the one in the American tree, but I still need to do tests. But there was talks about it even before then. You're always going to have these issues. You either choose to fall down the hill and keep adding in stuff like this that the average player cannot get unless he spends money and drive people away from the game, or you give them the option. Even if, right, this thing is worth 2,000 golden eagles. It all comes down to what 2,000 golden eagles is worth to you. And that's basically how it works. 2 War Thunder, for me, 2,500 golden eagles. So I would have to buy that one or the 5,000 one. 2,500 golden eagles is $14. So that means that 2,000 golden eagles is about $10 maybe. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, but that's around the ballpark. You can't buy 2,000 golden eagles in the game. You may at the store, I'm not sure. So that means that's an armful of branches, 6 pieces of course, is worth $10. $10. Crazy. I should start doing a series that I kind of did with the British tree, where I showed you all of the games you can buy instead of buying the British bundle, where you got the Black Prince, the Firefly, the Achilles, and the A13, where you could buy them all for $80, or you could buy all these games instead if you want to spend that money. I should really do that with this new stuff, because think about it, you're paying $10 for a bush, for a pay-to-win bush. And yes, I could do what a lot of, maybe not content creators, but a lot of things that other people do, where I could play on ultra low quality. But that's just giving in to the system that they create. Then they could just do anything. They could make max quality look absolutely stunning and make sure you can't see anything. But it would be fine, because you can in ultra low quality. So then everyone just plays in ultra low quality, then what's the point in max settings? They disappear. And the game gets worse, because what's the point in optimizing the game if you have all these features which are broken at those higher graphics levels? And that is an issue that you're going to have with a game which covers so many different PC configurations. It really, really is, but there must be a way of doing it. Because it was improved. It was improved at ultra low quality. Massively improved, actually, when the new engine came in. There was a lot less incentive for people to play on ultra low quality who could easily run it on higher quality. But right now, with the addition of these camouflages and other things, it's really, really sad. Even if, with these bunch of fir branches, even if it was something like get 200 kills with a Panzer 38T, I'd be fine with that. Because it would mean you would able to get it in the game without using these ridiculous wages, which you can either get at the start of the game randomly, when you open the game randomly, or you get them at the end of the battle randomly. There isn't a specific thing you can do to unlock golden wages. It is a random drop. Where if you add in something like get 200 kills with even a shitty vehicle, right? Even with something like, let's say an M6. An M6 isn't a great vehicle, it's okay, but it's not great compared to what it fights. Even if you made it so it's get 200 kills in an M6, I'll be fine with that. I'll be completely fine with that, because it means that you have something to work towards instead of waiting for random chance. And random chance does not work with me. I'm not a person who does stuff randomly. I do stuff logically and will always do stuff logically. And for me, the logic thing to do is to stop playing ground forces until something like this is changed, because it is obviously pay to win in my head. If you disagree, please tell me. Let's have a chat. I'll catch you next time.